stop trying to be more affordable and decide you will become more valuable. And the shortcut to value in terms of perception from your audience is pricing. I have two pairs of glasses here. This one is $10. This one is $110, which is the better pair. I assume that if gas is more expensive in one station, it must be better than the next. And I know that it may not be the case, but most people are engineered to determine that price should and does in most cases reflect value. Charge more money, guys. Charge more money.
And it does, when people think about it like this too. There's three things that people look for. Well, maybe more than that even, but some of the three things that people look at when they first come into your studio for the first time. What does it look like? Number two, who else is there? And number three, are you the one for them? How do you look? How do you act? How do you connect? So if the place is dirty and stinky, clean it up. Especially if your avatar is the new mommy, you've got to impress her. Simplify things, clean it up, make it smell right, make her feel comfortable. Number two, who else is in the building? We went through a phase about I don't know, we went through a phase post-COVID where everyone's getting free money, and we were getting a lot of people that were coming in and signing up, and they weren't our people. And it had an impact. There was a few people we had to invite to leave. They were coming in reeking of weed, or one guy was visibly drunk. And I remember the guy that was, I mean, you get a contact high if you're within 5 feet of him. I said, "Sir, you need to go outside." And he's like, "What? I want to watch my kid." I said, "You're in no state to support your child right now. You need to go outside." And in the future, when you come into the academy, I expect you to look right, act right, and smell right, if you understand what I'm saying. And he got offended. And of course, they turned in their cancellation. And I was thrilled. Good riddance. Because I know if I was bringing my child into a place and I have those kind of people that are in there, I'm not going to enroll. You are prohibiting, you're putting up roadblocks from enrolling the people that will make good clientele by allowing the bad clientele. And how do you attract the bad clientele? By being the cheapest guy in town.
Yeah.
If you charge a premium, you will attract premium clients. And some people are fearful of that because they think that they'll price themselves out of the market. A couple years ago, when we went from 200 to 250 a month, one of our guys, Master Matsumoto, he goes, "Oh, sir, you know what? I'll do whatever you say, but should we be concerned that we might be pricing ourselves out of the market?" And I said, "Well, let's find out. We can always change again." I said, "But think about it like this. If we charge a 25% increase, which is exactly what that was, we raised our prices by 25% from 2 to 250. Theoretically, you could actually enroll 25% fewer students and make the same amount of income. You wouldn't be losing money at all by signing up 25% less people." And he's like, "Ooh, never thought about it like that." I said, "So let's roll the dice. Let's see what happens. We can always adjust again." Enrollments didn't change a bit. Income went up by, guess what, 25%. It was significant. So, number one, don't be afraid to try new things. And number two, attract the people that you want. And even, because chances are real good that most of the people that are with you now could pay what you want to charge. We just weren't prepared to ask for it. But they will behave differently. They'll act differently. They'll treat it with a greater reverence because you just made it more important. It's a bigger investment, and therefore they treat it more. There was a gentleman a year or so ago, who's really good at this, at sales. And he goes, "If you want to create more value, increase your tuition." Now think about this for a minute. Go with me here. If you want to increase the value of your program, the shortcut is not to add more stuff. The shortcut is to charge more money. And let me explain why. Think about when you buy a brand new car. How well do you care for that car? You probably keep it real clean inside and out. You park it far enough away where no one dings it. You take extra special care of it because it has more value. Think about things that you've bought or owned in your life that you paid a premium for, you really cared for because it was more expensive. Now let's put that in our martial art training. Think about every time I've had plenty of people over the years that have paid in full for a big membership. And haven't you noticed how they're even more into it than they were before? right? And I had this one dad who was kind of a pill until he wrote us a check for 7,500 bucks, and all of a sudden I had a new best friend. It's because he'd gotten over that hurdle in his mind, and now he's fully committed. But here's the best part: the people that are really into your martial art, don't they get the most out of it? The people that are most excited and most into what you do always get the most out of it. So the shortcut to providing more value is to charge more money. When you charge more money, it becomes more valuable. They automatically become more into it. And because they're more into it, they're going to get more out of it. And you didn't have to do anything extra. You just had to adjust your thinking. It's genius.